At the forward airstrip in the Baltic region, a transport aircraft landed hastily in the darkness. The pilot stepped out, and was immediately met with the dismissive looks of young soldiers. "Oh great, the transport's here. Don't expect much," someone laughed. The woman didn't react. She simply handed the flight chart to the duty officer. Routine procedure. Suddenly, the radar alarm screamed. 8 enemy fighters were approaching rapidly from the northeast. The commander shouted, "Do we have any combat pilots still operational?" No answer. The entire squadron was already deployed. The woman touched an old silver insignia on her bag. Then she whispered 3 words, words that silenced the entire command center. Valkyrie 0-1. Her name was Captain Mira Locke. 32 years old. Recently reassigned to tactical transport aviation, a post most considered insignificant. At the forward base, she was treated like nothing more than a driver of supply crates. That transport pilot, what could she possibly do in a dogfight? Young soldiers whispered. One officer scoffed, "She looks so gentle, probably never even locked onto a target radar." Mira never responded. She checked her charts, her schedules, worked calmly and precisely. No one noticed her eyes. Eyes that constantly analyzed wind patterns and humidity levels, the way only real fighter pilots do. A mechanic later recalled, "I was standing next to her while she looked at the sky. She wasn't looking, she was calculating." Because the truth was this. Mira had once been a fighter pilot in a top-secret program. Her records were erased after she was blamed for a failed mission, one that wasn't her fault. To avoid political fallout, she transferred into transport aviation. To disappear, to be forgotten. But in her heart, the instincts of a sky warrior still lived on. Strong, alert, ready, she helped recruits fasten their harnesses, showed them how to read maps in the dark. Small kindnesses, unnoticed, unappreciated. In the evenings, she stood alone at the edge of the runway, gazing at the stars. She remembered the time when she ruled the sky. When her call sign was feared. Respected. Valkyrie. One evening, Sergeant Davis, a radar technician, saw her studying a wind map in the operations center. "Need help, ma'am?" "Just checking the patterns," she smiled. But Davis noticed something in her eyes, something only a combat pilot had. In Mira Locke's Spartan room lay a hidden silver insignia, scratched, worn. Valkyrie. Colonel Richardson had seen her file. Suspiciously thin. Too thin. A deleted past. He didn't ask questions. Some questions are not asked in the military. Then came the night of truth. Revolving light the alarm. In the middle of the night. Code red. 8 enemy aircraft. Su-30s or better. ETA, 12 minutes. Where's our air cover? 300 miles north on mission, they won't make it back. Ready aircraft. Malfunction. We have nothing left. Panicked voices. Terror. The base was practically defenseless. What about the transport pilot? A lieutenant asked. Transport pilots are useless in combat. Send her to the bunker, a sergeant snapped. But Mira was already there. Silent. Focused. She looked at the radar, no panic, only calculation. "Sir, what's in Hangar 6? Richardson frowned. "The F-22. But it's under maintenance, not flight ready." "It is flight ready." Silence. "I've been checking it every night for 3 weeks. The entire command center froze." "You've done what?" "Diagnostics. Parts replaced. Everything functional. You need a pilot." One officer laughed nervously. "Ma'am, that's an F-22 Raptor. That takes years. I know exactly what it takes." Her voice, cold, certain, lethal. "Open Hangar 6. Richardson looked into her eyes. He saw something he didn't recognize, but instantly understood. That was no transport pilot. That was a weapon. "Open the hangar." No one dared to object. Airplane departure. The F-22 awakens. The crew opened the doors. The F-22 rested in the darkness like a predator. Mira climbed in. No hesitation. Her fingers moved across the systems, every motion perfect. How does she know the sequence? A mechanic whispered. The Raptor came alive, a deep, menacing thunder. "Enemies in 8 minutes." The radar operator shouted. Richardson grabbed the radio. "Captain Locke, identify yourself." "Who are you?" A pause. Then, "Don't call me by my transport title. Call me by my call sign." "What call sign?" "Valkyrie 0-1. Spearhead airborne." The room practically exploded. Valkyrie 0-1. The legend believed dead, and she was already taxiing toward the runway. My God, Richardson murmured. What have I unleashed? Crossed swords. The air battle, 1 vs 8. The 8 enemy fighters advanced in perfect attack formation. Against any normal pilot, it would have been a death sentence. But Mira was not normal. Tower. Valkyrie, you're hopelessly outnumbered. Negative. If I wait, you all die. I'm engaging. She dove. The enemies followed. Then she pulled a high G climb that would have knocked anyone else unconscious. Splash 1. Chaos. Disbelieving voices. Missile lock. 6 missiles tracking her. Valkyrie, evasive maneuvers. Negative. She flew straight into an area of extreme turbulence, the exact pattern she had studied for weeks. All missiles lost lock. How did she know? She studied the wind charts for days. Davis shouted. Splash 2. She hunted, like an animal. Every movement precise. Calculated. 2 enemies nearly collided during pursuit. Splash 3. Splash 4. 4 against 1. Then she killed the engines. The F-22 vanished for seconds. As the enemies lost sensor contact, she reappeared behind them. Splash 5. Splash 6. The last 2 fled. Valkyrie, you have lock, fire. Negative. They live. Why? So they can report what happened today. Sports medal return of a legend. The F-22 landed. The entire base stood outside, silent. Mira stepped out. Sweat. Exhaustion. Steel in her eyes. Colonel Richardson saluted. Ma'am, on behalf of everyone here, we're sorry. We didn't know who you were. You weren't supposed to. Private Jenkins stepped forward, ashamed. I said terrible things. I'm sorry. You couldn't know the truth, she said gently. But disrespect was your choice. Heads lowered. Book the revelation. An officer restored her deleted file. 43 combat missions. 27 confirmed kills. 0 losses. Elite Special Squadron. Declared dead to protect others. Mira had been sacrificed, and had stayed silent. Glowing star. The lesson of the Valkyrie. The base changed. Respect replaced arrogance. Humility replaced mockery. A maneuver was named after her. The Valkyrie turn. Her insignia was displayed. She did not fire to kill. She fired to protect. The crews restored the F-22. The Valkyrie's bird. Recruits said, judge no one by rank, judge them by character. Mira refused all honors. I did what needed to be done. Nothing more. Dove the Valkyrie's final words. A journalist later asked, why did you do it? Why alone against 8? Mira replied only, because people needed help. That's why we exist. Everything else is just noise. And she vanished back into her old life. Quiet, humble, unstoppable. At the operations center, a sign remained. Never underestimate the quiet ones. When the moment comes, they become thunder.